I worked with the people in Manipur among indigenous tribal communities in the hills and the plain people called Baitai from 2012 June to 31st December 2013. Under this project, I coordinated 5 districts in Manipur, 3 districts in the hills and 2 districts in the plain. I worked with the people on the issues of rights and entitlements. There in Manipur, our tribals were not aware of the entitled rights like the public distribution system and old age pension schemes, widow pension schemes, and those facilities for the children. So when I started mobilizing the people, it was surprised to know that those entitled items of PDS were just coming from the MLAs or those leaders of the villages and distributed anytime when the leaders found the advantage of distributing to the people for gaining the support for the election. At the time of election campaign, our MLAs used to distribute these PDS items publicly as if these items were their properties. And the all expenses too were distributed during the public meeting at the time of election campaign. People were so ignorant. After IPAP's intervention, people come to know that these things were schemes from the central government. They are entitled to get these schemes like PDS, public distribution systems, items like rice, sugar, edible oil, and then this kerosene oil. They are entitled to get every month at the entitled quantity and rate. As I interacted with the people, they said that this PDS rice was distributed only 5 to 6 times a year. And this PDS rice was distributed irrespective of BPL, APL or AAY. And even for those households without ration cards also got the equal share at the equal rate. And the rate of PDS rice before the IPAP intervention was charged at the rate of 10 rupees. Kerosene at the rate of 20 rupees. That was also, as I mentioned before, distributed only 5 to 6 times. 5 to 6 times in the plain. But in the hills, some villages, they said they never got any year. In 2012, in Sinapati district and Sandel district, people said they got rice only 3 times a year. That also only 3 kgs per households, irrespective of households having ration cards or without having ration cards. All the households got this. But after 2012, during 2013, people became aware of their entitlements very much. And they became so curious. And so I started getting phone calls from the community leaders inquiring the office of Consumers Affairs and Food and Public Distribution office, and started inquiring their respective district supply officers and inspector. They wanted to inquire, they wanted to come, they wanted to approach these officials and find out the reasons why they did not get regularly, means every month. Thereafter, they started approaching the government offices with the officials, and these officials told them a lie, saying that only that much of quantity, that much of amount came for your village. You consult your respective local ration agent. They went back, consulted the ration agent. Ration agent told them this less quantity and irregular distribution was due to the deduction by the undergrounds for their share. And then when the people asked them to tell them which particular group of undergrounds deducted and interfered in this public distribution system, the ration agents refused to disclose the specific or particular groups of undergrounds. There, I doubted there must be a foul play between the ration agents and then the department officials and also our MLAs. Because there in Manipur, the ration agents and the nominees are selected by the MLAs, not by the people. And one clear fact is that why the people were not aware of their entitlements on PDS is that there was no concrete existence of fair price shops in the villages. And also the Angalwadi centers under integrated child development services. Earlier, these ICDS centers were also not functioning regularly and effectively. After our intervention, Angalwadi centers started functioning properly, even though they do not have the program or they did not have the classes every day. They had, say, 3 times a week in the hills. But in the plains now, since our students' unions, the Beli-based students' unions also are intervening into these schools and Angalwadi centers, they started functioning effectively. So I went to visit one of the Angalwadi centers in Bishnupur district at Kha Sanjenbam village. It's a Maitai village with 400 total households 400 and above. they had a very big Angalwadi centers. I did not give them any prior information. I did not come to visit the Angalwadi centers on that day. In fact, I came to visit some of the people to discuss on MG in RGS. So, since it was early in the morning and those leaders were not there when I came to meet them, and therefore I just went to visit one of the Angalwadi centers. There I found 25 children at the age of 3 to 6 years, and I met two Angalwadi workers, one Angalwadi worker and one Angalwadi helper. And I inquired what items of food was being prepared for the children. The Angalwadi showed me the packet of that food, Pustak Ahar. As I was told by the CDPO of Bishnupur district during our interface program, Pustak Ahar is supposed to give for the nursing mother. And the Angalwadi said, Uza means sir. Children refuse to eat this food. And I told them, in fact, this is not meant for them. That's why children refuse to eat. For the children, we have to prepare hot cooked meal as per the guidelines. Did you prepare any hot cooked meals? When I asked them, the Angalwadi worker told me that sometimes when things did not come from the center. And so this IPAF intervention was indeed an eye-opener to our ignorant people in our state like Manipur, where there is coexistence among different ethnic groups, Nagas, Kukis, and Meiteis. And I was very fortunate to work with different ethnic groups, bringing them together, learning the issues, even though I am one of the Naga tribes. I was very fortunate to work with different ethnic tribal groups and the community in the plain. With our efforts, now the PDS rice, the rate and quantity is increased to 60% in every district, where I worked in 5 districts. And so this I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to ActionAid India for its yeoman service extending to the northeast, bringing a lot of awareness and knowledge to the people.